Trump wasn't just picking international fights over the weekend. No, he was also picking fights closer to home and also about his home.
Speaking of President Obama, President Trump is blaming him for the inadequate air conditioning at the White House.
The Obama administration worked out a brand new air conditioning system for the West Wing. And it was so good before they did the system. Now that they did the system, it's freezing or hot in here.
Wait, what? He's seriously blaming President Obama for the temperature in the White House? You see, this is what happens when you've run out of things to blame Obama for. It's almost like Trump is just looking around the room for new materials. Like, you know, this office wasn't always oval. It used to have beautiful corners, but Obama stole them. And by the way, there is no way that President Obama is to blame for making the White House too cold. All right? Never in the history of the world has any black person wanted to make their office colder. That's not a thing. When God was making the earth, he gave everyone winter. And then he got to Africa, and Africans were like, no, we'll just take their sun. Thank you. Thank you very much. So Trump started his weekend off beefing with Obama and French wine. But then on Saturday, he took his beefs to the next level.
In more than a dozen tweets over the weekend, the president disparaging Congressman Elijah Cummings, calling his majority black district around Baltimore, Maryland, a disgusting rat and rodent-infested mess where no human being would want to live. The president's Twitter offensive comes after Cummings grilled Trump's acting Homeland Security Secretary about conditions along the border. It's the second time in 2 weeks that Trump has come under fire for racial attacks against members of Congress. But now Trump insists Democrats are the ones playing the race card, tweeting Cummings is racist.
And there you have it, folks. Congressman Cummings criticizes Trump's border policies, and in response, Trump tells him to go back to his rat and rodent-infested city. Which is not exactly how you'd expect an American president to talk about an American city. And what makes it even more disturbing is that, as multiple people have pointed out, this language is part of a pattern. Right? President Trump always uses the word infestation when talking about people of color. Almost always uses it. He said illegal immigrants are infesting America. He said Congressman John Lewis's Atlanta district is crime-infested, and that the squad must go back to their crime-infested countries. Like, you don't need to be a genius to see what Trump is implying, because he's not a subtle person. Like, if Trump was a painter, his art wouldn't need to be interpreted. It would just say, "I'm sad," in giant letters. You go, oh, what does this mean? And like, here's the thing. I think people are missing the point. People are like, are you saying Baltimore doesn't have rats? Is that what you're... No, it's not about that. I'm not saying Baltimore doesn't have rats. Of course it has rats. But you know which other cities have rats? All the best cities in the world. All of them. Paris, London, New York, they all have a rat problem. In fact, I'm starting to think that if your city doesn't have rats, it's because you live in a boring-ass city and your food sucks. Yeah. Because rats want to have a good time too. Everyone's seen the photo of Pizza Rat, but people don't realize later that night he changed into Opera Rat. He has many tastes.